A character that Ilya Guardiola and I both care about is killed in the show. And both of us let out the scream, or I start screaming, he starts screaming, and my scream goes into an attack fully on the thing that killed her. And it was amazing watching it because they did something digital to where my scream and Ilya's scream, we started screaming and it came together and was one sound. And then it split up into my attack while I was screaming. And we recorded that separately, we didn't hear each other, and I went to the mix engineer and I said, wow, I said, that was amazing. I don't know how you did that. That was incredible. He was like, what? And I told him, he goes, I didn't do that. I was like, what do you mean? He said, that just happened. He said, when we put the two sound files together, your voice and Ilya's voice started in two different places and became almost the same scream of you know, frustration and anger and pain. And then yours broke off in anger and yours continued in pain. So that is probably one of the moments I'm most proud of that I didn't even know I had done in terms of dance. So now somebody else had their hand up. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Another question right here.
How does it feel to be the normal brother?
Who says I'm the normal brother?
Given the choices.
Yeah, who says I'm the normal brother?
There's nothing wrong with a big cup.
It's very funny depending on who you ask. You ask some people, like Greg is a much more eccentric brother. You ask other people, and I'm by far the more eccentric brother. It's all in where you stand and how you look at it. We get that. The funny thing is everybody thinks Greg is my older brother. I'm older than Greg by 4 years. And everybody goes, he's taller. Okay, how tall are you, dude?
Me?
Yeah.
5'10" and a half.
5'10" and a half. And how old are you?
25.
You've got socks older than you. So here's the thing, he's 5'10" and a half, I'm 5'4", so that obviously makes him older. I don't get that logic. No, I mean, if you think about it, Greg is one of my best friends in the world. We have relatives who for years have always thought that Greg and I were taking it. There are no ways siblings get along that well. Brothers and sisters and brothers and sisters do not get along as well as they do. And no, we do. We actually do. And after the family member that spent some time with us, she was like, this was a great answer. And she's like, they really do get along. They really like being around each other. Because her children hate each other. So it's very weird for her. So no, but aside from, being, one of my best friends, he's also my baby brother, who's taller than me. So yeah.
So, building on that, I know that as a general rule when you do voice recording, you don't do it together, but did that connection between you and him have any kind of impact on your being able to play off of each other as Sweet Tango and Sujido?
It actually had more bearing on Sweet Tango and Sujido than it did on anything else we've done, especially dances. Oh man, you and Greg got to fight. Greg and I don't fight. If we disagree about something, he does whatever he wants to, I do whatever I want to, and we come back, it's like literally an argument between Greg and I is like, you're wrong, I disagree, fine. Walk away. About 10 minutes later, he's like, hey, I'm going to have some tea. Do you want to go? Yeah, sure, let's go. It's that way with us. Here's the thing, and I've said this before times. Greg is one of my best friends. He is someone that I will always have his back. His family and blood is always thicker than water. The fact that, and I talked about this, the fact that at the end of that show, when those two characters have no one else, everything else has been pulled out from under them. The only person that Sujido has to rely on is Sutangu. The only person Sutangu has that he knows he can rely on is Sujido. And the fact that, the last time you see them, they've got each other's back. Because that's kind of the way Greg and I are, we both agreed. He had recorded his scenes, and then I had the next day recorded mine, then we were driving back home, and he's like, did you see the end? I was like, yeah. I was like, that's really cool. And we talked about it for a little while, that it was very indicative of kind of our relationship, that no matter what, we will always be there for each other. The only difference is that Greg and I are not heartless villains. It's a slight difference, yeah.
Before you said that you were upset about having to be in Boston for a while, you
I love Boston. No, it was not that I was upset. Anime Boston is not in the dead of winter. It might be, okay, but I say that and then I go to Ohio Con every year, where 2 years ago it was 12 degrees. It was 12 degrees and I had hurt my leg and could only walk. I was staying across the street from the convention center and I could only walk like this. And that was with people holding on to. I tweaked my hip flexor. And yeah, it took about 20 minutes to get across the street. And like I said, I'm from Texas. I got here, I got to my room here, and I was like, what do you mean it is 72 degrees here? Oh, that's off a little higher. And when I got in there, my 72-degree room was too cold for me. Yeah, it sucks. Very thin blood. No, but I love Boston. Boston, I've always said Boston is one of my favorite conventions of the year. I've got a lot of cons that I love going to. This is absolutely one of my favorites. So, and I was telling somebody else that anytime they want me back at Anime Boston, I'm always more than happy to come. The attendees are great. The staff is amazing. It is so well run. And the nice thing is, it is a giant con. I would guess there are probably close to 17,000 people here this weekend. And it doesn't feel like there's that many. It still feels like a moderate-sized con. And all the other guests who this is their first year, they're like, that's really weird. This doesn't feel as big as it is. And that's something that I like about it because it's one of those shows where I still get to hang out. I still get to, hang outside up front smoking. Or, you're not, and that's the compliment to the guest relations staff. I do a lot of shows where if you're on your way to a panel and somebody wants to stop and ask for an autograph or wants a picture, they're like, no, you can't. And I don't like that. If I have time, if I've got to do something now, I usually try to, I was with another voice actor one time at a con, and somebody came up to the table. We were having lunch in a restaurant at the hotel, and somebody wanted an autograph and a picture. And I was like, absolutely. I was in the middle of eating, and stopped a minute, signed an autograph to a picture. And this other voice actor was like, why would you do that? We're in the middle of eating. And my philosophy is it takes nothing from my soul or my day to be nice to someone for a moment. It takes absolutely common sense. I just don't understand why some actors don't have common sense. But, and that's whether you're a voice actor or not. I'm a firm believer, now I'm getting into philosophy. Both of these matters go all over the place. I'm a firm believer that, and it took me a while to grasp this concept. I'd read it, and the more I thought about it, the more truth I saw in it. As human beings, we cannot control how we feel. We have absolute control over how we act. And you can feel angry or hostile or hurtful or frustrated, and you can choose not to deal with every person that you meet in that manner. And that's something I try to keep in mind, not just when I'm at a convention, but when I'm in life. So, another question. Yes, back there. Can't hear you.
You're just not even you weren't here a couple of weeks ago. You could have been swimming outside on Boylston Street.
I have heard that. Everybody kept telling me to avoid exploding manhole covers. And I didn't know what that meant, and I looked at the news and was like, oh my gosh! Yeah, that's okay. A couple months ago, I was nearly killed at Capsicon, so, but it was, I was standing out, oh my gosh, I was standing outside. The green room had an open air patio, and I had stepped outside to have a cigarette. And I was standing, and I realized I was standing very close to, I was standing close to the building, and I happened to look up and hanging from the windows. It was right after DC had all that snow. And we got there, we were driving to the hotel, and there were 8-foot snow drifts. And literally, I have a picture of Greg on my website. When my brother made me a snow angel, he literally did this.